TopMedTalk.
Hello, I'm Desiree Chappell, and this is TopMedTalk. We are live from the European Anesthesiology Congress, EUROANESthesia 2019 in Vienna. Now, I'm here with Editor-in-Chief of TopMedTalk, Monty Mythen.
Hi, Desiree.
Hi, Monty. How are you?
I'm as good as well as can be expected.
That's right. That's true. But we are in bright and sunny Vienna. We
Allegedly.
saw a little sunshine this morning.
When I walked in this morning, the sun was shining.
That's good. We may see a bit of that later today. It might be okay. Well, this weekend we're going to be sitting down with presenters, key opinion leaders, and delegates to give you a first-hand look into the Congress. Now, we want to thank our generous sponsor for this, Edwards Life Sciences.
Very generous allocation of space from
it is.
Edwards Life Sciences. They are, although they have some of their advertising at one end of the booth, it's entirely turned over to us.
It is.
To enable free, open access medical education. Boom.
There you go. That's it. So thank you very much to them. Now, I want to make sure that we also get you guys subscribed to the podcast on your favorite podcatcher. And we're going to be on social media, right, Monty, this whole weekend?
We're always on social media. I mainly tweet.
Yeah, you do.
It's taken me a long time to understand how to do it, but I tweet as much as possible. I'll see if I can get some videos out there as well.
Yeah, we'll be putting that. So follow Monty. Follow me. Follow TopMedTalk. On Twitter, we're also going to be doing some LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. We might even be doing some live feeds, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're going to be doing that.
We are live right at the moment.
We are live right at the moment. We are. And we are going to be posting all that stuff, so check it out. So, Monty, what are you looking forward to most for the meeting this weekend?
As always, good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to push the boundaries, as always. We're going to seek out good people. I think your dance card is almost completely full already from people, lovely people who've been swinging by to say how much they are fans of TopMedTalk.
I know.
It's about burgeoning wrong word, our fantastic listener base around the world. So we've already had people come from different continents to say, and we've managed to snag some of those and say, come back and have a conversation with us.
I know, it's really fantastic. I've met someone from Germany who listens, a couple people from Germany who listen, the UK, of course, US. I mean, everybody's here, and just, it's really cool, actually.
It's the European Society, but it's a global organization.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. I am looking forward to that as well. You have a couple presentations
I do. I've got a talk this afternoon about perioperative medicine. I was privileged enough to give the opening Macintosh plenary lecture here 2 years ago, which I think was the period of transition for the European Society, like many places, from traditional, mainly in the operating room, perhaps pushing out a little bit as anaesthesia providers into this space of perioperative medicine. So they sort of challenged me this afternoon to, 2 years on, where do you think we've got to? Are we getting dragged too far away from the operating room? Which I think there is some truth in that. We've described a vision for the patient, but we can't do everything.
Yeah.
So therefore, we've got to find our boundaries. We've got to make sure all the work gets done, but we've really got to concentrate on our zone, and I'll be very much emphasizing that point.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, where do you really think we are? You are here in Europe, especially.
Well, I described the journey from my perspective, which started in the UK in 2003. So we're 16 years on since our document modernising care of patients undergoing major surgery. So that's typically a tipping point for an innovation. It hasn't gone away. Evidence-based perioperative medicine is 21 years old. Before evidence-based perioperative medicine, there were a number of departments, particularly in the USA, that had renamed themselves as anesthesia and perioperative medicine. Oh. So the journey is about the inflection point for any innovation for it to become normal.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't gone away in 20 years, it's got stronger, and now it's getting much stronger. So I think we're all in. It's just now anesthesia providers can't do everything.
Yeah.
It's harnessing the energy of the other people who are good at this.
Yeah, so we talked about, I know that there was the launch of a new center that is coming out of the UK, and so do you think that's kind of the answer to this?
Yeah, I think so. The Centre for Perioperative Care, of which the first director was appointed very recently, announced that Anaesthesia 2019 in London just a couple of weeks ago. Dave Sarwin sat down with us, the newly appointed director, and explained to us the vision of the centre, which is to be multidisciplinary. It is formed by the various different, as we say in the UK, colleges, so the surgeons, the physicians, the general practitioners, and the nurses have all put their logos on the new centre. They're all part of it. Now, it's physically housed in the Royal College of Anaesthetists, but because they've all said, we think you've led to this point. So carry on, keep that energy going. But, let's accept the fact that it's highly likely, and quite appropriately, that a surgeon or a general practitioner or nurse could be the next director of that centre.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, and like you said, anesthesia can't do it all.
No. So
we have to find ways to work collaboratively to be able to make that happen.
And as part of that, we're still very much emphasising the fact that with and I keep saying it, the silver tsunami, the ageing population coming down the line, our care of the elderly doctors, geriatricians, whatever you call them in different countries, that's the group we've all really got to get behind.
Absolutely.
So it's care of the elderly doctors, geriatricians who are very, very well trained and best at caring for the frail elderly patient in a holistic way. Some of those will specialise in the surgical space. Meanwhile, some perioperative physicians who are anaesthesia trained will specialise in the geriatric space.
Yeah.
That would be the big difference.
I think it's great. I mean, we've had some great conversations on TopMedTalk with some geriatricians, with some perioperative docs that are specializing.
And you visited some of the lead centres around the world?
Yeah, the POPS facility over in Guy's in St. Thomas, right? Or Guy's.
Guy's as well. You visited Guy's Hospital, but it's the Guy's at St. Thomas's group. Okay. And Jagdeep Desai, and her team. You were. I think you went to see the truth, the real journey.
I did, and it was phenomenal. I mean, the ideas that are coming out of that are, it's so innovative, and it sounds like they're really doing some amazing work. So excited to see if that's going to take hold and be adopted in other facilities.
I think it's happened in many places around the world, but it is very much happening.
Yeah.
Everyone recognising that that's probably our biggest, most challenging group.
Yeah.
Huge benefits to everyone from getting it right, and really the objective is to get frail elderly patients back to their own home as quickly as possible, because we all know that's where they do best.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, some of the things we're going to be talking about this weekend, Monty, on TopMedTalk, we have some special guests that we're going to be talking a lot more about the hypotension and hemodynamic story.
Yeah, our favourite theme of ours.
I know.
Yeah. We're very keen on the advanced hemodynamic monitoring, goal-directed therapy, and people keep saying, hang on, why do you keep banging on about this? And that's because there's too many people not doing it. And in my opinion, the benefits are very clear. They can always be clearer, but my goodness, do we do a long list of other things that are nowhere near as evidence-based, and we seem to embrace them and do them happily. Whereas
no one puts up a fight about any of it.
If you are looking for an evidence base, this is about it's not by no means perfect. It's about as good as it gets at the moment.
Yeah, totally agree. And you're totally right. I mean, we're on the ground. I'm on the ground. It's not happening.
So I think we're going to be talking about this in the next couple of days. Is if we take the example of acute kidney injury, which there's been a far greater focus on, including recent publications in major anaesthesia journals emphasising the transition from acute kidney injury to chronic kidney disease and becoming hemodialysis dependent, which we can all understand would be miserable and incredibly expensive, towards now, in and off dialysis machines. Some of that appears to be completely avoidable. Yeah. So therefore it is iatrogenic harm, and it's caused, it would appear, by suboptimal perioperative fluid and hemodynamic management and misapplication of drugs. So if there are some centres now reporting 0% acute kidney injury rates after cardiac surgery, and some reporting 40% acute kidney injury rates, we've got to take this seriously. We're just running out of excuses.
Yeah. And it's not just enough to say, I mean, so many people are like, it's just a bump. We're going to see a bump.
It's just a creatinine bump. We've got to give that up.
Yeah.
It's not just a creatinine bump. No. You can, if it's you and you're the provider, but please just carry on and have just a creatinine bump. Yeah. To everyone else, it's a bad thing. Yeah. Most people get away with it. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that some people don't.
Yeah, and we need to recognize that. No, I think it's a story that I think we just need to keep talking about.
But we're not just going to be banging on about that.
No.
We are going to be... We're talking about blood pressure, we're talking about hypotension, but we'll also continue on our mission for frailty, post-operative let's call it POCD for now. We know it's been rebadged. We've done quite a lot about that on TopMedTalk recently.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about obstetrics, pediatrics.
Yeah.
You know, we want to grab people and talk about anything they're interested in talking to us about.
Yeah, because that's what the rest of the world wants to hear too. I mean, we want to talk about it.
If it's new, they want to get it out there, and it's backed up. It's, you know, it will stand up to peer review.
Yeah.
Come over here. We've got a little soapbox for everyone. You can stand on it or sit on it.
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. It's the beauty of TopMedTalk, what we're doing. Well, fantastic. I know we have a couple other ones that I'm looking forward to. Linda Mason from the ASA. She's the president of the ASA.
Excellent.
So we're
very excited about that.
Yeah, and talk with her. And, so I think there's going to be some good stuff coming out
And we had our friends
weekend.
from the patient safety movement here this morning.
Yeah.
I just had up on the screen our, let's call it an interview, but it wasn't. We were in the room with President Bill Clinton.
That's right, we were.
At the wonderful...
A huge room
in January. Well, to be fair, it wasn't... We weren't that far. It was a couple of hundred people in the room. It wasn't as though it was 10,000.
Well, no, it wasn't 10,000.
Yeah.
It felt like more than
we were close.
Closer than I've ever been.
And we had to have our table and our studio moved by the Secret Service so that he could have a direct route to the stage. I felt touched.
I did. Did you?
by his, I felt roughly touched.
Yeah.
By his special service agents. They did. I was not going to crack jokes with those guys.
No, they were very serious. Yeah. But they were very sweet. Did you talk? I did talk to a couple of them.
Yeah, but the one I liked about them was they asked politely twice, and then they just picked us up and moved us.
That's true. They were helping move the TopMedTalk equipment all over.
They said, sorry, sir, this has to go now. was very amusing.
Oh, anyway, you never know what's going to happen.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Sorry, President Clinton.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really be calling him Bill quite yet.
Well, not yet. Maybe next year.
Talking about the fact his mum is a nurse. His mum is a nurse anaesthetist.
Yeah.
Anesthetist. And he spoke passionately about the importance of hand washing in a clinical environment.
That I know. If anything stuck with you out of that entire conversation, which was an amazing conversation with Joe Kiani and then his presentation.
If President Bill Clinton can go to a hospital and wash his own hands, all of our colleagues can manage it as
Absolutely. And there's no reason that we shouldn't. I thought that was a awesome takeaway from that that talk.
Well, I've just noticed, Desiree, there are people walking around with croissant and coffee, which I think we're going to miss out on.
Where do you get
I don't know, but it's all happening. And I think it's part of the break that's going on at the moment. So unless you've got something else to add right at the moment, I think I need to go and find the coffee.
We do need to get you some coffee, I think. No, I just wanted to say thanks again to our sponsors. Thanks again for everyone that listens. Again, just be sure to follow us on social media. Subscribe to the TopMedTalk newsletter. That's very important. We don't send out a ton of stuff, but it helps us. And most of all, just share with your friends, your colleagues, residents, trainees. That all helps us on the TopMedTalk free open access medical education mission. So thanks again for listening. We'll check back with you the rest of the weekend.
And absent friends.
To absent friends. All right. Cheers.
TopMedTalk.
Nate Majerison here. Thanks for listening to TopMedTalk. Now, before we let you go, it's important that we remind you to subscribe to TopMedTalk. That way you'll never, ever miss another episode. Also, if we could encourage you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pretty much every single social media platform, we're there. Join us. And finally, check out TopMedTalk.com. If you go to our website, you can subscribe to email updates. That way we can always tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and how you can join us. TopMedTalk.com and click on the section marked email updates. Finally, TopMedTalk is proud to act as the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about them as well. ebpom.org is their website. That's ebpom.org. And if you go to ebpom.org/meetings, you can find out about some of the wonderful meetings that we attend and cover across the year here on TopMedTalk. That's ebpom.org/meetings.